We've all heard the phrase Achilles heel. It refers to a person's one weakness, a fatal flaw which can lead to their downfall. There's also the Achilles tendon, the thick cord you can feel at the back of your heel. So where does this metaphor come from, and what does it have to do with Achilles? Achilles was the greatest of all Greek heroes who took part in the Trojan War. He was born to the sea nymph Thetis and the mortal king Peleus. When he was just a baby, Thetis, who wanted to make him invincible, lifted him up by the foot and dipped him headfirst into the magical River Styx. This river of the underworld had miraculous powers, which made those who bathed in its waters invincible. However, because Thetis held Achilles by his heel, that part of his body wasn't touched by the river's waters, and so it remained vulnerable. While Achilles would go on to become a powerful hero, his one weak point, his heel, would ultimately cause his downfall. Another version of the story states that Nereids, the sea nymphs, advised Thetis to anoint Achilles in ambrosia, the drink of the gods, before placing her son in a fire to burn all the mortal elements of the body. Thetis neglected to tell her husband about this, and when Peleus saw her apparently trying to kill their son, he shouted at her in anger. Thetis couldn't complete her work and fled their home, returning to the Aegean Sea to live with the nymphs. And so, Achilles' heel was untouched by the ambrosia and therefore vulnerable. Whichever version you prefer, the outcome remains the same. Achilles' heel remains his weakest point. Achilles was raised and trained in various disciplines, ranging from music to hunting. It is said that he was fed a diet of wild pigs, innards of lions, and the marrow of she-wolves. It was quite obvious to many that he was destined for greatness. When the Iliad begins, the Trojan War had been raging for 9 years. The rage or anger of Achilles is a key theme in the Iliad. In fact, the epic begins with Homer calling on the muse to sing the wrath of Achilles. The reason for his anger? The fact that the Greek king Agamemnon had taken a captive woman, Briseis, from him. While this might seem petty, it's important to remember that early Greek society was highly competitive, and a man's identity and status rested on his honor. Achilles would go on to kill 24 important people in the Iliad, with the last being Hector, the Prince of Troy. Before he dies, Hector prophesies that Achilles would be killed by his brother Paris, with the help of Apollo, the god of archery. Achilles kills Hector by plunging a spear into his neck. He then desecrates his body by dragging it around the city of Troy, tied to his chariot, a terrible insult to Hector. In the final stages of the Trojan War, Paris avenges his brother Hector by shooting an arrow at Achilles, which, guided by the hand of Apollo, strikes him in his one weak spot, his heel. Achilles has come to symbolize many things. 1. Military prowess. Achilles lived to fight, and he died fighting. Loyal, courageous, fearless, and powerful, he was undefeated on the battlefield. 2. Hero worship. His supernatural strength and power made him a hero, and Greeks looked up to him and believed that as long as he was on their side, they would conquer the Trojans. What made him more compelling is that he also had fallibility. He was not exempt from fits of rage and brutality. 3. Brutality. No one, be it man or god, approves of how Achilles defiled Hector's body after beating him in battle. Although he relented in the end and returned Hector to his father Priam, the damage had already been done and he gained a reputation of being brutal. 4. Vulnerability. Achilles' heel is a symbol of his vulnerability and weakness, which is something that every person has, regardless of how strong and invincible they appear. This doesn't take anything away from him. It makes him relatable. A hero who had many conquests in battle, Achilles was the personification of courage, strength, and power. Yet, while many see him as a savior, he was also human, just like the rest of us. He remains one of the most complex characters of Greek mythology. Do you have an Achilles heel? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and consider subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching.